Pour yourself a cold one and join us for a show filled to the brim with fun,
Bite your tushy.
entertainment,
Donkey, don't give me that side.
information,
That is heavenly.
and a little weirdness.
Yeah, if you show up to the St. Patty's Day parade just with no green,
We're pinching you.
yeah, we're
Right
coming
there.
we're coming at you.
With your permission, because we don't want to be sued.
It's Happy Hour with DJ Kyle.
Hello and welcome to Happy Hour. I'm your host, DJ Kyle. We have a full pack show today. First of all, I want to let you know we have our Furry Friends coming up today where we have a cat named Lunchbox on the show. We sit down for a little bit with our good friend David Leatherberry and talk about some childhood mischief that he's gotten into. But up next, we have our historian, Professor Jim Paisley. He's going to be telling us about the history of St. Louis. You're going to want to stay tuned for this. It's right here on Happy Hour.
Warrant, like the Good Times Rock Tour. And they're bringing some friends on the bus. Also starring Firehouse. And Jack Russell's Great White. Friday, August 16th at Ozarks Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at ozarksamp.com. Bridal Cave and Split Arrow Boutique, part of the COMC concert series.
Hey, it's your buddy DJ Kyle. I would love to personally invite you out to come see me DJing out about the town. On Monday nights, you can catch me at the Glory Hole. We have so much fun. Wednesday nights, I'm at Frankie and Louie's with some karaoke, 5 to 9. Thursdays, we continue karaoke at the Fishing Company, 6 to 10. And you'll see me around some Fridays and Saturdays. You'll see me at Larry's on the Lake a lot of Saturday afternoons. So come on out. Love to see you.
The lake has it all. The scenic outdoors, the incredible events, and of course the water.
But did you know 50% of all fatal boating crashes in Missouri last year involved alcohol?
Although we know the lake is all about having a great time, we also know what's most important to you.
So don't forget and always designate a sober captain ahead of time, so this summer won't be your last summer.
This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, injury attorneys.
Hello and welcome to Happy Hour. I'm your host, DJ Kyle. We have something very important for you. It's kind of like a St. Louis soap opera. We have Professor Jim Paisley here with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And you?
Good. I'm doing fantastic. Yeah. You know, I love to visit St. Louis. We just went to a St. Louis Cardinals game. They have Anheuser-Busch there, like the things that you know of St. Louis and the Arch. It's just been like that forever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
a few things,
we're going to be talking about the history and the founding of St. Louis. So this is such a very interesting segment, and I'm so glad you're in here to bring us some knowledge of this. So why don't you go ahead and just jump right in. Tell us what we're about to.
It's a really fascinating story, and I'm a St. Louis boy myself, and it's interesting because living in St. Louis, there was Choteau Avenue. I knew where that was. There was the Laclede's Landing, all these places. But I never really took the time to find out who these folks were. And so I thought today we'd talk about the Choteaus, which is kind of an interesting story in itself. I'd always heard that Pierre Laclede is the guy that came up and, stuck his flag there, right there where the arch is, and claimed that territory for France and founded this city, and he had a young kid with him, a 14-year-old kid, and that kid's name was Auguste Choteau. And I always scratched my head and thought, dude, why would you bring a 14-year-old kid to do this? Because it was the wilderness, all right? And they came up from New Orleans. Well, here's the story. Auguste Choteau helped his foster father, Pierre Laclede, found the city of St. Louis. Pierre Laclede was his foster father, and I'm thinking, well, how does this happen? Well, here it is. Auguste Choteau was born in New Orleans, of all places, in September of 1749. So we're talking before the American Revolution.
Yeah.
There's a time period we're talking about. And this original Auguste Choteau, he was born in New Orleans, to Marie Choteau. They called her Madame Choteau. Okay. And her husband. So Marie Choteau and her husband have this kid, Auguste Choteau. Well, here's the deal. August Shoto, the dad, was a baker and a tavern owner, but a bit of a ne'er-do-well. And he, lo and behold, abandons his wife and son, leaves them there, and sometime around 1755, he just disappears. So basically what happens is that same year, Pierre Leclerc shows up from France. He's got this charter from the king to go and establish a trading post upriver, up the Mississippi River. And so he shows up, and he's running around New Orleans and happens to come across this good-looking babe, this Madame Shoto, and they kind of have a little fling.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens is that she wants to get a divorce, Madame Shoto, and marry Pierre Leclerc, but she can't. They're Catholic. They're in New Orleans, of all places, and so they don't allow that. So they just carried on their fling.
Okay.
Well, when Pierre Leclerc says, hey, I'm heading upriver for the king, I'm going to establish this place, I'll take your son with me. So that's how August Shoto wound up in the boat, 14-year-old
wow.
kid.
14 years old.
Yeah. Say, come on, it'll be an adventure.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. All right. So sure enough, they traveled upstream and landed there right where the Gateway Arch is. That's why they call it Leclerc's Landing, okay? And it's interesting to note that before he left, he and Madame Shoto had, goodbye, I miss you, and it turns out that she winds up pregnant and has another kid, all right, and another boy. This boy is Pierre. So you hear about Pierre and August Shoto. Those are the two that we're talking about. They're half brothers.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, and now the plot thickens.
Yeah, of course.
But these are the two guys that founded St. Louis, basically. All right. Pierre Leclerc, he's the explorer. But when these two get there, they're some savvy businessmen, and they really pull off quite the deal. All right. Now, instead of building just a simple fort, what they did is they actually built a full-scale colonial settlement. And they had, this trading place where the Indians would come in and trade pelts, and they would give them all kinds of, manufactured goods and everything in exchange. It's interesting to note that their trading post wasn't right down there in the riverfront. It was where Union Station is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's always been a shopping mall.
Yeah.
It's right up that.
It started as a shopping mall, yeah.
Up that creek right there. So anyhow, what happened is these guys set up this trading post, and it boomed. They did great. Now they were trading with all people, the Osage Indians. The Osage Indians had 52,480 acres of land in Missouri.
Yeah.
52 million acres they had. So they are it. They're the tribe you want to deal with.
They're owning Missouri.
And so the Shoto brothers, what they did is they spent their time building relationships. They learned the language. They stayed in their villages with them. They learned the culture and the thing, and that's what did it. They, rather than what you hear about, settlers coming in and killing the Indians and pushing them off, no, they welcomed them with open arms because they knew these Indians are bread and butter. They're going to bring in all these hides and everything, pelts.
Living
and
in
everything.
harmony. That's
exactly.
good.
That was the key. Now, I also think it's fascinating what was driving this fur trade. Ladies' fashion.
Huh.
Yeah, people they weren't getting the furs for, staying warm or anything. At the time, the French, with, their culture and, the ladies looking their finest, if you had fur on your hat or on the collar of your coat or your dress, you were somebody.
Wow.
And that's what drove it. Fashion drove basically our entire industry as we started, because fur trade was huge in America. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing.
I know.
I had no clue. I feel like this is almost a story you have to have a whiteboard.
Well,
and that person was the fleeing.
So basically what happened is they were so successful in setting up this fur trade and everything. They were actually there in St. Louis and provided the supplies and everything for Lewis and Clark when they did their expedition to head even further out west. And so these guys were just making a killing, all right? August and Pierre, leading citizens, to say the least, through their whole lives. And they, like I say, the money that they were making, August, when he died, he had around $100,000, which back then, bear in mind, you could buy 160 acres of land for $4.
Oh, yeah.
And so, it'd be worth millions today.
Sure.
His brother, Pierre, when he died, he had $79,000, which again was worth millions and millions of dollars. And both of these guys lived to old age. August lived to be about 92, I think it was. Pierre died at 90, which was unheard of back then. But in essence, what happened is these guys were the ones that came in, rather than fighting the Indians and causing problems, they came in, had a business relationship, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Absolutely amazing. There you go. I told you you're going to love this history story about St. Louis. Professor Jim Paisley, we definitely thank you so much for coming in on the show. And we have more Happy Hour coming up right after this.
Being close to the water makes you more you. It's where the great unknown brings clarity. And letting go is how you really get going. Because only when you're on a Yamaha Wave Runner do you truly discover what you're made of.
Visit Surdak Yamaha at Lake of the Ozarks, 50 years strong.
Anywhere I go around Lake of the Ozarks, I hear people talking about the Ozarks Amphitheater and so many great shows already this year. Ozarks Amphitheater is the official attraction of the Happy Hour, and 2024 COMC Concert Series is in full swing, but there's still so many more concerts coming up. There's Crowder, Jamie Johnson, Justin Moore, Frank Foster, and so much more. Get your tickets online, ozarksamp.com.
You've dealt with chronic knee, back, and even foot pain for years, and nothing has seemed to work. Until now. Introducing Beck Wellness Center's new specialty knee rehab program and neuropathy techniques you've probably never seen before. And they work. Board certified in neuropathy, experience Dr. Beck's breakthrough rescue program that can eliminate problems at their source. Try it to believe it. Give us a call today. Your healthier, happier life starts with Beck Wellness Center.
Hello and welcome back to Happy Hour. We're shifting gears quite a bit here from our show. We had Professor Jim Paisley on, but now we have our good friend David Leatherberry. David, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, amazing to be on this side of the desk.
I love when you get here on the show, and I'm curious, what are some of the things that we're going to be talking about today?
Well, I kind of wanted to make it a little bit silly today. I wanted to do something a little lighthearted. Let's talk about childhood mischief. Were you a mischievous child?
Was I ever? I was obviously the class clown.
Oh, yeah.
What I used to get in trouble when I was in grade school and high school, I get paid to do now. Just talking and being an idiot and whatever. That's pretty much me.
Honestly, yeah, that's just kind of how we ended up.
So I want to know, I feel like you were probably quite the mischievous kid. So what were some things, why don't you open the door to the David Leatherberry family and your childhood, and I want to know what were some of the crazy things that you did?
Okay, so I got in trouble in school twice in my entire career. I was pretty well behaved. I was a chill kid.
I was about twice a week, so...
Yeah. Don't worry, both times were memorable. But let's talk about the first one. Now, this was back in elementary school. Now, I, like many kids, was picked on. But I never really fought back because, let's be honest, I had about 50 pounds and the wingspan of an albatross on every single one of my classmates until I hit about 6th grade. So I'm not that kind of person. Yeah. I don't like to swing on people. Yeah. God didn't put us on this earth to smack each other.
That's right.
All right? Makes me feel bad. Makes my stomach hurt. So what I did was in my opinion, much more restrained approach. The guy that was picking on me really liked playing kickball at recess. So I formulated a plan to make sure that didn't happen. Now, my parents made the incredible mistake of allowing me to watch a movie with them, which gave me some ideas. It was an old B-list monster movie, Loch Ness. We lived in Germany at the time, so we were in Europe, and I was like, it's not far from Scotland. So little first grade me, this is me in first grade, got the idea of looking around the playground, seeing if there's anything I could work with, and there, right in the forest line, on the other side of the fence, was a small body of water. I figured that could have a monster in it. So what I did, I approached this other kid. You know how when you're in grade school, when you're real young, and you're trying to make friends, you'll grab at any straw that you can.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, yeah, you know, we got the same name. We must be connected in some way. I used that to get in with this other kid named, with my name. And I got him into this game. I was like, we're gonna imagine there's a lake monster over in that water over there. It's gonna be really fun, and we're gonna tell people. Now this kid, I don't know where he's at now, but my gosh, it must be somewhere impressive because this guy, he's a little intense, but he's got the spirit.
Oh yeah.
Imagine this 7-year-old. I think back to him telling this story, and I can't not picture him with like a cigarette, like the guy from Jaws, like
retelling the story
like
now.
those eyes, all black and lifeless, you know? Like this 7-year-old kid is like, yeah, my grandma used to live on this property back in the day. The creature in that lake tore her apart. Never saw her again. All right, kid. Yeah, you go.
A little intense.
Yeah, but he's got it. All right, and that spread like wildfire. Oh my gosh, it got bad.
So
It got
you
real
had
bad.
all the kids just
all of them
believing that
this.
there was a monster in that water.
Me and him, we were convincing. I was okay. This kid committed. Like he was all in. He was like in the grisly details of, yeah, they found half a granny up there. You don't want to know what happened on the soccer field.
So now with this said, you obviously talked to all your classmates and got it all spread around. So did anyone go out and play kickball after this point?
Oh, they had to call my parents because nobody would go to recess. Everyone was 100%
Usually recess is what you're like.
I know.
Bell rings and you're heading out.
Oh, I know. You know they had to be scared to skip that. And I'm not proud of this. I feel terrible about it now. But my goodness, we had them shaking in their boots. And that jerk, he didn't get to play kickball for a bit.
You
But
won!
Yeah, I know, right? But my poor parents, they get a call from my first grade teacher. And I can't imagine what that call sounded like. Yeah, he's got them all convinced that the Loch Ness Monster is going to kill them. Yep.
We'll be down there in a minute.
Yeah.
So did you get in trouble quite a bit?
I was not, okay. I grew up watching those dollar movie rentals at the video rental place. I grew up on those old Universal monster movies. I was obsessed with them. Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein. We wonder how I turned out this way. And I was fixated on that. I was obsessed with them. I was not allowed to watch a scary thing for so long.
Oh yeah, they're like, let's keep him watching cartoons.
Yeah.
That way he doesn't spread all the
gosh.
craziness at school.
The first one I was allowed to watch again, I had to watch with my parents, and they gave me like a 30-minute dressing down. Like, you are not allowed to use this. If you ever use this, we cannot trust you again. And it was that like B-90s movie Anaconda with like Ice Cube and John Voight. It wasn't even that.
They're like, David, don't take this to school.
I would never repeat this movie to anyone, all right? I'd rather pretend it didn't happen.
See, I feel like my mischief, side of me was more of a class clown.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time we were in a room that was very echoey, and at our school, we used to have these intercoms, and they would, buzz the teacher. And so I was just sitting in there, and for whatever reason, the bell went off, and I thought, I think I could redo that sound. And so I just went, I was like, boy, that sounded right. So halfway through, it was a study hall. Halfway through the study hall, I called the teacher. I was like, Miss So-and-so. And she's like, yes. And we did this 4 or 5 times. She went over to the intercom and she would call the office again and be like, you guys called me? And they're like, no, we didn't call you. Go back to work. She'd go back to work and I would do it all over again. I did that like 4 or 5 times. Didn't have the whole class talked into that there was a monster.
Yeah.
In the
no, instead you just gaslit this underpaid woman.
Exactly right. There you go. Sorry about that. I tell you what, it is always fun having David Leatherberry here on the show. And don't forget to check out Weekend at the Lake right here on Lake TV with your very own David.
It's hard to miss. I'm very loud.
So much more coming up right here on Happy Hour. Stay right there.
Hey, I'm David. When you come to the lake, you're not here to sit on a boat all by yourself staring at the sun till you go blind. There's a whole world of places to go, people to see. Someone's got to know where all the fun is, right? Welcome to Weekend at the Lake. Whether it's a street party, a concert, a charity event, or somewhere to spend time with your kids, buddy, I've got you covered. Weekend at the Lake. Because you're not here to be bored. Only on Lake TV.
Hey, it's your buddy DJ Kyle. I would love to personally invite you out to come see me DJing out about the town. On Monday nights, you can catch me at the Glory Hole. We have so much fun. Wednesday nights, I'm at Frankie and Louie's with some karaoke, 5 to 9. Thursdays, we continue karaoke at the Fishing Company, 6 to 10. And you'll see me around some Fridays and Saturdays. You'll see me at Larry's on the Lake a lot of Saturday afternoons. So come on out. Love to see you.
Warrant, like the Good Times Rock Tour. And they're bringing some friends on the bus. Also starring Firehouse. And Jack Russell's Great White. Friday, August 16th at Ozarks Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at ozarksamp.com. Bridal Cave and Split Arrow Boutique. Part of the COMC concert series.
Welcome to another edition of Furry Friends. I am Megan Albers. This is Mary Meow Tilly. We are out here at Ozarks Cat and Canine. We're in the cat room, hanging out with all the cats, but we're not featuring all of the cats today.
Not today.
We're just featuring one.
Yes, we are. Today we are featuring Lunchbox.
Lunchbox. It's the best name for a cat. So good.
So when Lunchbox came into us, we have a lot of people that we work with, different rescuers, who work at with different organizations and all. And I can't even remember why we initially reached out to her, but we reached out to this one lady about a dog or some puppies or something along that line, something canine. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Oh, by the way, while I got you on the phone, I have this cat that I picked up. I'm not a cat lady, but I picked up this cat about a year ago, and he's been hanging out. And you got room for him?" Mm-hmm. So we got some more information and everything, and she brought us this little boy. And right before she walked out the door, I said, "So you've had him for a year. Does he have a name? Mm-hmm. What have you been calling him?" And she said, "Oh my."
Little cat fight behind us.
Oh, that's nice. And she said, "I've been calling him Lunch." And I said, "Lunch?" And she said, "Because that's the only thing he wants from me." So in my brain, I'm going, I don't know if when it comes time to put him out there as being available, the idea of putting out a cat online named Lunch.
He's Lunch.
Might get some questions, So, but hey!
So we're back. David almost died.
I did.
It's fine. So
little minor catastrophe.
Yes, little catastrophe.
Everybody's cool right now. We're gonna try to finish before we have World War III
another one.
break out.
Goodness. Yeah. It's just one of those days where everybody just needs some catnip. Just needs to chill out a little bit. We got one kitty in jail. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah, it's what happens when you get a whole bunch of teenagers in a room together and you got two bickering at each other.
Yes.
So it
those
is
cat
what
hormones. Oh goodness. Okay, back to Lunchbox.
Back to Lunchbox. So didn't think that we should put him out there as Lunch.
Yeah.
So added an extra little ending on there. He became Lunchbox, and everybody giggles over his name. So I really hope that whoever adopts him keeps it. But we can never guarantee that.
Yeah.
But Lunchbox is approximately 2 years old. Very Very cat friendly. He's done very well in this room. When we first brought him in here, of course it was a big change for him. We were told, "Oh, you guys will love him. He loves other cats." First, probably 2 to 3 weeks at least in this room. He came in with his own special box, and that's where you saw him. In here. And I think there were several times you guys came in to film that we were like, "Oh, hi, Lunchbox."
Yeah.
And the first time that I walked in this room and he was out and he didn't go hide, and I turned around, I looked at him and I'm like, "Who are you?" Because I wasn't used to seeing him.
Yeah.
He is so petite compared to everybody else in this room. To be a 2-year-old male, he weighs about 7.5 pounds.
He's
and
very
that
tiny.
is tiny for an adult boy.
Yeah.
But he does very well in here with the other kitties. Usually when we come in here now, he's over on the beds just chilling. He likes that bench that has the 3 beds on it, and he'll be in one of those usually when I come in. But we did learn that he doesn't really care to be picked up.
Yes, yeah. It was a little bit of chaos. We tried.
Yeah, we tried it. It was like, nope.
Immediate flailing. That's what happened. Yeah. Not a fan.
But yeah, he's a good boy, and I think he's going to make somebody a good kitty. Maybe if you've already got another kitty in the home, or something that gets along with other cats, he might be a good addition to your house.
Yeah.
But sweet boy, and won't take up a whole lot of room.
No. I did tell him my cat would eat you for lunch because he is so petite.
He is. I have a cat that's 4 times his weight, so no extra jumbo large litter boxes for Lunchbox.
Yeah,
but
just a normal sized one. He is a very sweet boy. He loves the pets, loves the snuggles, but just not a huge fan of being picked up, which I respect. I get that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he likes to hang out, and I've noticed, he loves the higher up spaces, it seems. And don't really see him a whole lot on the floor.
Yeah.
So, the tables, the benches, the shelves, something. That would probably be his only requirement.
Yes.
Maybe
cat tree.
Have some high space for me. So.
Yep.
Hi, Weasley.
It's always fun in the cat room.
On my foot.
Yeah, always fun, always chaotic. It's a blast. And of course, I always recommend come down to the shelter, meet the kitties, hang out in the cat room. I promise it's not always chaotic. Sometimes emotions
it's not always
are high.
This chaotic.
No, there's always a little bit of chaos because you are dealing with cats.
Especially when all the orange boys are in here.
Yes. They share one brain cell and it just kind of bounces around.
As do they.
Yes. But of course, as always, you can apply to adopt at ozarkscatandcanine.com. I think we have another fight breaking out, so.
Oh no, those two just like to wrestle.
Oh, they're just pretend
fighting. That's just this World Cat Wrestling Federation there. Practice.
Never a dull moment. It's so much fun. Thanks for hanging out with me and dealing with the chaos. That does it for another Furry Friends. We'll see you next time.
The lake has it all: the scenic outdoors, the incredible events, and of course the water.
But did you know 50% of all fatal boating crashes in Missouri last year involved alcohol?
Although we know the lake is all about having a great time, we also know what's most important to you.
So don't forget and always designate a sober captain ahead of time, so this summer won't be your last summer.
This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, injury attorneys.
Warrant, like the Good Times Rock Tour. And they're bringing some friends on the bus. Also starring Firehouse. And Jack Russell's Great White. Friday, August 16th at Ozarks Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at ozarksamp.com. Bridal Cave and Split Arrow Boutique, part of the COMC concert series.
Thank you so much for joining us for a happy hour this week. I want to say thanks to our guests that we had on the show. Thanks to Professor Jim Paisley, David Leatherberry, and of course, Megan bringing us that Furry Friends and that cat named Lunchbox. We have a great show lined up for you next week, so make sure you just stay right here on Lake TV. We'll see you then.